So both Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, one of the big things that they're really pushing right now is to bring back Star Wars Legends into the mix for the new Star Wars universe on Disney Plus and for theatrical releases out there. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Also make sure to check me out at Mike01 on Twitter if you would like to. Now, moving ahead, we do know that Jon and Dave, they are absolutely working pretty much day in and day out with shows like the Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian Season 3 and 4 that's going to be worked on, by the way, back to back, as well as the Ahsoka Tano series with Rosario Dawson, and that's just for starters, alright? That's just the tip of the iceberg, just the beginning of what the new universe is going to look like. So, when we look ahead to the future, this November to December, right around that time frame, a lot of TV shows are going to be announced, and then following that, more TV shows and movies will be announced as well at Star Wars Celebration of 2022. That's going to be next May, so looking forward to that as well. The thing that really does excite me the most is exactly how Jon and Dave are going to handle everything moving forward with some of the beloved characters like Mara Jade, Luke Skywalker, Palpatine, and others out there like Kyle Katarn. We talked about this just a couple of days ago. A lot of things are really beginning to brew over at Lucasfilm, given that Jon and Dave recently got promotions and have more creative power over this new Star Wars universe. And that's really saying a lot. That really does give the fans a lot to look forward to. It gives the fans a lot of hope about the future of the franchise, which, honestly, that's what fans need right now. They need a lot of things to look forward to. Kind of like what's been happening with Spider-Man No Way Home. A lot of fans are viewing that as by far the most anticipated superhero film ever. And there are reasons why. I'm sure that you guys know exactly why. So, with that being said, of course, given that Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to finish the Book of Boba Fett series, and are now beginning to enter post-production. They are also highly focused on their new shows like the 3rd and 4th seasons of Mando, as well as the Ahsoka Tano series. However, it's described that creator Jon Favreau recently ended a terrible plan by Kathleen Kennedy that was being put together that was actually going to have an even bigger negative impact on Gina's character, Cara Dune. It's described that Kathleen Kennedy was working with the higher-ups over at Disney, such as the board members, to cut out many of Gina Carano's scenes from both Season 1 and Season 2 of The Mandalorian. It's best described that this plan was actually and surprisingly moving forward for quite a while, until just recently Jon Favreau recently put an end to this entire plan that was moving forward by convincing many of the board members to not push this ahead. Jon Favreau is described to have convinced the board members to not cut out Gina's scenes from Mando Season 1 and 2 by informing them that it would only create more backlash from the Star Wars fans and the entire community. It was both Favreau and Filoni that convinced Disney to shy away from this plan for Gina Carano, and that now, instead, Disney's board members are allowing Favreau to include many of Gina's deleted scenes from Season 1 and 2 into the 3rd season for 2022. Favreau and Filoni are said to have already had their final meeting with Lucasfilm, or should I say the higher-ups over at Disney, discussing her return to Lucasfilm and getting rehired, that will be finalized by September. Kathleen Kennedy is said to be very furious and angry over the fact that Jon put a stop to her plan that was gaining traction to have Gina's scenes deleted from the first 2 seasons of The Mandalorian for Disney Plus. Now, obviously this is a great movement by Jon Favreau. It really does kind of give you a more vivid view of Kathleen Kennedy's true intentions. Let's not forget that she did this with The Rise of Skywalker, and she was able to do this because, well, she had more, creative power back then. She was more of a convincing figure to the Disney board members back then. Not so much today. It was mainly because of Kathleen Kennedy that we did not get deleted scenes on the Blu-ray edition of The Rise of Skywalker, unfortunately. That's the hard truth. That's why there are no deleted scenes on the disc, and no alternate cuts of that movie showing the fans exactly what could have been. She wanted to make sure that fans did not, get a chance to see that. Fast forward to now in 2021, we're now in a place where, of course, Jon and Dave are really trying to preserve Star Wars. They're really trying to keep it in place, make sure that it can really become all the more successful than ever before, and I respect that. One thing that I will say that's very important to the Star Wars fans is that Jon and Dave, they want to absolutely make sure that a lot of Star Wars legends that they are actually going to be cherry picking from are going to be accurate to the original stories. So I think that's a very good move. I think that's obviously a great way to show the fans that he does care, about the overall community. He wants to reunite the fandom, and that's his end game, basically. That's Jon Favreau's end game. He wants to reunite the Star Wars fans and make sure that everything is going to come into place. So here's the other thing that I believe is a very interesting development, is that Kathleen Kennedy is having a lot of issues. We talked about this just yesterday with LESLYE Headland, alright, the writer of the Acolyte TV series. Given that, of course, there's been a lot of creative differences for that actual TV show, there's a lot of setbacks. I still don't believe it's going to be making its way to 2022. It most likely is going to be slated for 2023 this time, but we'll have to wait and see. Overall, I think that what Jon and Dave are doing right now is a good thing. The fact that they were able to end this Gina Carano plan that was actually implanted by Kathleen Kennedy and was being convinced to the Disney board members by Kathleen Kennedy for quite a long time now. I mean, let's not forget that everything related to Disney's Star Wars is that when we look at the overall development of this new universe, is that they're trying to make it expansive as Star Wars Legends was. They want to make libraries worth of Star Wars material. It's why so many TV shows are coming out. It's why so many announcements are happening this year and next year. They want to make sure that they can use a lot of TV shows to serve as pretty much the foundation of this new expanded universe moving ahead. So the other thing that I believe a lot of fans need to know that's absolutely important, and the thing that really a lot of fans, should know, is the fact that Kathleen Kennedy even said at one point in time, I'm sure that you guys heard about this, that there's really no source material to pull from, basically denying that Star Wars Legends even exists, trying to convince new fans that there is no such thing as Star Wars Legends, and the only thing that does exist are the Disney canon. That's it. That's basically what Kathleen Kennedy was trying to convince to new and casual Star Wars fans overall. So, like I've said before in the past, guys, I think that obviously things are beginning to shape up. Things are starting to actually create that light at the end of the tunnel here. I'm glad that Jon and Dave got promotions over at Lucasfilm. That's really great news, and the fact that they have more power over there is also, giving a lot of fans hope about the future. So, like I've said before in the past, drop a comment below. Let me know if you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.